Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host Bjorn, and here we go once again with a PvE hardcore match on Rolling Thunder. Today I have for you something a little different because this is actually a replay taken from my stream. If you actually want to see the live uncut version of the video, I will put a link in the video description below. But so far, what we have here is we have a full platoon of viewers with David Bowie, Sneedy, Caps, and Rexall. As you can see the team here, we got 3 M1A1 Storms, and we have a Challenger 1 and a Palmera. This tank can be acquired through the current Battle Path, which is part of the Warlords of the Wasteland. Yeah, there it is. Big, mean, and nasty. Now I'm actually, instead of focusing on talking about the M1 Abrams, I'm actually going to focus on talking about the mine plow system. Right now, currently, this is the only vehicle with the mine plow in the game. But essentially what you have here is you have an M1A1, which is you can get through your tech tree. But this is a premium version. It's still a tier 7, and it adds a mine plow. What the mine plow does is add additional ramming damage. That's the, per se, important feature of the mine plow. And you're going to see a lot of ramming this game. Now I do want to note, my driver does have the ramming skill for even more ramming damage, and I also have the retrofit, which is for crew survivability and reduced ram damage to myself. I want to highlight those because obviously if you're going to do a lot of ramming, that's a good thing to have. And this vehicle just shouts ram a lot, and even if you don't do ram damage, yeah, you can scoop them up and shoot them in the underbelly. Yeah, we'll just scoop that Merkava up there. And I'll just pull away. Anyway, we're going to talk about the plow. So this is an actual piece of equipment for a tank. I've seen them on Challengers, I've seen them on Chieftains, and I've seen them on M1 Abrams. I've actually physically seen one of these in person when I was in the service. These things look ridiculously nasty in person. They are made of they're just made of steel, but it's a hardened steel. The idea is you stop roughly 100 yards before you find a minefield, or where you think a minefield is, and you drop the plows and you drive forward. And then other vehicles follow your path. However, there's some notations to that. The plow itself only goes about 8 to 10 inches deep. Basically, any deeper than that, and the mines really won't affect your vehicle. And that's mostly got to do with, ground explosive pressure. Most mines won't even go off, won't even set off at that rate, because the ground pressure of actually the M1 Abrams is about the same as an infantryman with like a 9.5 size boot. I don't remember all that information, but essentially the ground pressure is really not that much for such a heavy vehicle. Now, the thing to point out, though, is one problem is, as you can see, the gun does stick out over the vehicle. And obviously, there's a high chance that you're going to set a mine off. So what's done is the turret is traversed to the left, putting the tank commander towards the front of the vehicle, and so he can see what's going on. And that's to help prevent gun damage. It's so he can see what's going on. However, the big problem is you're exposing weak armor. The side of the turret is weak armor compared to everywhere else of the tank. You know, short of the rear and the rear of the turret. So you need a lot of supporting assets when doing this, clearing a minefield. And that is called a combined armed breach. Or sorry, combined arms breach. That's where you need infantry, other tanks, artillery, and you got to try to obscure being targeted and various things like that. It clears the mine, you know, then it clears the minefield, and they breach the area. With that being noted, how the plow works is, as it's scooping through the sand or dirt, it either digs the mine up and pushes it off to the side, or it explodes the mine itself. However, the thing is the plow can only take so much damage before you got to replace the blades. You know, it's only going to take a few hits from a landmine, but it's honestly one of the safest and quickest ways to clear a minefield for maneuvering units. Obviously, at some point, you're going to want other engineering units to come back later and actually completely clear the minefield out. What you have here in Armored Warfare is you have an M1A1. It's not part of any tech tree. It can't actually be acquired through a tech tree. It's considered a specialized vehicle. So it's not part of Wolf, which is, I think, what the other, it's what the other M1 line is a part of. But generally, it's an M1. It plays like an M1. It feels like an M1. Except for it's got this really nasty bit for ramming stuff. As you can see, it does a really good job at ramming stuff. Especially when you can get it really booking. So yeah, so there you go. That's the M1A1 Storm. We'll say here, we'll talk more about the replay. Basically what you see is, like, you see a lot of ramming, obviously. You know, I guess if you're going to give a kid a toy, he's going to use it and abuse it as much as he can. Right now I'm going after this Challenger 1, but I changed target to another M1 Abrams. So here we got a pin, and I'm just going to start What I'm doing is I'm pointing my gun down, and I'm moving my turret back and forth when I'm reloading. And I know he can make a shot. There we go. There's the kill shot. And that was to protect my weak spots. So yeah, I mean, if you play the M1 Abrams and you like the Abrams tanks in the game, this is definitely a good vehicle for you. But like I said, the only way you can earn it right now is through the battle path and doing the missions. Taking some fire on the side here. And there we go. There's the game. We'll just pop up the results here now. So here we go. I did over 20,000 damage. Spotted 11. Destroyed 10. got myself a blue star and got myself a target. Yeah, I got shot quite a bit actually. For obvious reasons. Hey, shoot that guy with the ram plow. Uh-oh. And I was top damage on my team and obviously top XP with the blue star added onto it. But yeah, what do I think about the M1A1 Storm? Oh my God. That thing is ridiculous. It is ridiculous amounts of fun. I think ramming should be made illegal after this tank because it's just, yeah, it's that good. Anyway, hope everybody, hopefully everybody who's working on the Battle Path is going to get them the M1A1 Storm. And definitely want to show a vehicle from there. This was, to me, this was the grand prize. I know everybody was going off about the Alte and all this other stuff. This tank was my grand prize, and yes, it was worth the pain and suffering I went through to get it. There was definitely some missions there that made me hate my life. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this replay featuring the M1A1 Storm, and I will see you all again sometime.